Welcome to the deep dive. When it comes to retirement taxes, it's easy to feel like maybe you're leaving money on the table somewhere.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way.
So today, we're diving into something that could really help, the Roth conversion. It's more than just some financial jargon. It's a strategic play that might seriously boost your financial freedom in retirement.
Absolutely.
We've actually pinpointed 5 specific times. Some are maybe obvious, others maybe not so much, where converting a traditional IRA to a Roth could unlock some pretty massive tax benefits for you down the road. Think of this as your kind of shortcut to smarter tax planning.
It's definitely a decision worth really understanding because the core benefit of a Roth IRA, it's pretty compelling. Once that money's converted, any qualified withdrawals you take out in retirement, completely tax-free.
Tax-free is always good.
Always good. And what's really interesting here is that unlike your traditional IRAs, Roths generally don't have those required minimum distributions RMDs during your lifetime.
Oh, right. So you're not forced to take money out if you don't need it.
Exactly. Your money could just keep growing tax-free, potentially for your whole life,
Yeah.
which, can lower your taxable income in retirement and just gives you a lot more flexibility.
Okay. That sounds fantastic. But I sense there's a but coming. It's always a catch, right? What's the immediate sort of hurdle people face here?
You got it. There is a key trade-off. You do have to pay income tax on the amount you convert, and you pay it in the year you actually do the transfer.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, when you're thinking about doing a Roth conversion, you absolutely have to weigh that upfront tax cost. You need to look at how it bumps up your adjusted gross income, your AGI, that key number the IRS look at for a lot of things, and just be aware of all the sort of related tax consequences.
Right, right. So the thinking is you pay tax now to potentially save a lot more later. That's the why behind considering this upfront hit.
Precisely. You're looking at the bigger picture. For some people, paying that tax now might be totally worth it because then all the growth in the Roth is tax-free, distributions are tax-free. It's a good deal long term. For others, though, yeah, that immediate tax bill might feel like too much. But our mission today, really, is to walk through 5, let's say, optimal times when paying that tax up front actually becomes a really smart strategic investment to maximize those potential tax advantages later.
Okay, makes sense. So where do we start? What's the first window of opportunity? Interestingly, it seems like the first one, maybe a bit counterintuitively, pops up when things look, well, a bit gloomy in the market. We're talking about when the market declines.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And the real insight here isn't just, oh, good, I pay tax on a smaller number, though that's part of it. It's more about strategically buying into future tax-free growth when it's essentially on sale.
Okay, explain that a bit more.
So imagine your traditional IRA was, say, $100,000. Market takes a dip, now it's worth $70,000. If you convert then, you're only paying income tax on that lower $70,000. Right.
But here's the kicker. You're converting the same number of shares in your investments, but they're just valued lower at that moment. So when the market bounces back, and it usually does eventually, all that recovery and future growth happens inside the Roth. And that growth, forever tax-free.
Ah, I see. So you lock in more potential future tax-free gain when the value is temporarily down.
You got it. It's like buying low, but what you're buying low on is your future tax freedom.
That's a fascinating way to put it.
Right.
Okay, so moving on from market timing, what's another big trigger that might make a Roth conversion especially timely, something maybe a bit more predictable?
Yeah, another really crucial time to consider this is when you're expecting a change in tax brackets. This is a big one right now.
How so?
Well, a lot of the current tax rates we have, the ones put in place by the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act back a few years ago, they're actually scheduled to sunset, basically expire at the end of 2025.
Oh, right. I've heard about that. So
Yeah.
the current lower rates might go away? That's the projection. Those historically lower rates we're kind of enjoying now are likely to revert to higher levels. For example, the 22% bracket is slated to go back up to 25%. The 24% bracket could jump to 28%.
Wow, okay.
So thinking about converting some traditional IRA or maybe 401k money to a Roth before those potential changes hit, that could be a really smart move. It lets you lock in today's lower tax rate on that conversion amount. It's all about being proactive before the tax landscape potentially shifts.
That's a huge heads up, really timely advice. And that kind of leads us nicely into a specific phase of life that often lines up with lower taxes. That's when you're between retirement and RMD age.
Yes, exactly.
For a lot of people, these can be their lowest income years, right? They've stopped working, but they haven't hit that age, typically 73 now, where they have to start taking required minimum distributions from their traditional accounts.
Precisely. And if they maybe haven't started collecting Social Security yet either, their income could be significantly lower during this specific window.
So that gap year or years.
That gap period can be an absolutely ideal time to intentionally leverage a lower tax bracket for doing some Roth conversions. And here's a key point. You don't have to convert everything all at once.
Ah, good point.
You can spread the conversions out over several years. Doing that can really help manage the tax impact each year, maybe keep you in a lower bracket overall. Think about a married couple. Maybe they're in the 22% bracket. They retire at 65. They know RMDs are still 8 years away. They could strategically convert a portion each year, chipping away at it, and really taking advantage of those lower income years before RMDs and potentially Social Security kick in and push their income back up.
That makes a lot of sense, breaking it down into smaller chunks over those potentially lower tax years. Okay, so that brings us to a related situation, but maybe one that's less planned. Those times when your income just unexpectedly drops. That's our fourth scenario, when you experience a low-income year.
Right.
This could be for various reasons, maybe taking a sabbatical, changing jobs, or, an unfortunate period of unemployment.
Absolutely. Think of it this way. If life throws you a curveball, or maybe you choose to take a step back for a year and your income drops, putting you in a lower tax bracket unexpectedly, that's kind of a golden opportunity tax-wise.
A silver lining, perhaps?
Maybe? Yeah. It's a chance to pay a much smaller tax toll, as it were, on the road to getting that money into a tax-free Roth account. A practical tip here is often to wait until later in that low-income year, like towards the end.
Why wait?
Well, it lets you get a clearer picture of your total income and your overall tax situation for that specific year before you pull the trigger on the conversion. That way you can be more precise, make sure you're really maximizing the benefit of that temporary lower bracket.
Got it. Be strategic even when the opportunity is unexpected. Okay, so finally our fifth window. This one shifts the focus a bit beyond just your own retirement. It's about when planning for your heirs.
Yes, and this is such a critical piece of legacy planning that sometimes gets overlooked in the Roth conversion discussion.
How does it play into leaving money to loved ones?
Well, doing a Roth conversion can be a really powerful way to lessen the tax burden on the people who inherit your money. By converting traditional IRA money to a Roth during your lifetime, you pay the taxes. Then, that money can keep growing without RMDs forcing distributions.
All right, we covered that.
Potentially leaving a larger sum for your heirs. Now, there's a rule change to be aware of for most non-spousey beneficiaries. They generally have to withdraw all the inherited Roth IRA funds within 10 years of your death. It's often called the 10-year rule.
Okay, 10 years.
But, and this is the crucial difference, every single dollar they pull out of that inherited Roth IRA during that decade, it's completely tax-free to them.
Ah, huge difference.
Huge. Compare that to inheriting a traditional IRA, where basically every withdrawal is taxable income for them, giving them tax-free income for up to 10 years. That provides incredible financial freedom and certainty.
That's a really compelling point for legacy planning. Okay, so let's try to wrap this up. What does this all mean for you, our listener? I mean, as we've really explored in this deep dive, timing looks like it's, well, pretty much everything with Roth conversions.
It really is key.
We've gone through a whole range of situations, haven't we? Market lows, thinking about future tax laws, those specific years between retiring and RMDs, those unexpected income dips, and even planning for your family's future. Understanding these different windows can really help you maximize the tax advantages.
Absolutely. And I think the overall message from sources we looked at is pretty clear. Roth IRAs and Roth conversions specifically can be an incredibly valuable tool in your retirement planning toolkit. They offer definitely more flexibility and could potentially lower your overall tax bill quite significantly over the long haul.
It's pretty amazing how just being strategic about when you make the move, whether it's tied to the market, your income, tax laws, or even thinking about your legacy, can unlock some really significant financial benefits for you and potentially for your loved ones too.
Yeah, which really leads to an important question for you to think about. Beyond just these 5 optimal windows we've discussed today, how might your own personal long-term financial goals, things like funding specific dreams in retirement, or maybe leaving a tax-efficient legacy, How might those goals influence whether you see that upfront tax cost of a conversion as a barrier or maybe more like an investment in your financial future?
That is definitely something to chew on, and it's exactly the kind of thinking we want to empower you with here on the deep dive. We really hope this discussion helps you make more informed choices about your own financial journey.